Craig, I love this morning that we've been able to feature some really great resources here on International Women's Day, hear some stories, but I want to chat with you about, is there someone maybe in your own life or in history or recent that's really inspired you to share on International Women's Day today?
Well, I have so many positive females in my life. I've always worked for women. I've always was raised by remarkably powerful women. So to pick one would be an awful mistake because
Right.
you leave so many out. But
Right.
historically, I'll just go with the historical aspect.
Okay.
I have always, from an early age, been drawn to Eleanor Roosevelt.
Why?
Right? Why?
I mean, there's so many
because
great
she was-
reasons, but I want to know
I
your
think because
take.
she was in Annie, the movie musical. The first
Yeah.
Annie, she's not in the play.
No.
But they put her in the movie, and I just, I don't know, I always liked it. So I kind of did some school projects on her growing up, and she was really perhaps one of the first ladies who got out in the field and worked. She was a working first lady. She really was right there next to her husband, and through wartime was kind of really the mother of the world, and was I found this and I thought this was kind of summed it up. She said,
Yes.
"Freedom makes a huge requirement of every human being. With freedom comes responsibility. For the person who is unwilling to grow up, the person who does not want to carry his own weight, this is a frightening prospect." She was very active in the UN, served on that for a long time. She just took her role as a public servant really, really seriously and did such a great job. So I've just always been fascinated by her. And nowadays, someone that ugly would never be able
golly
to. Well,
gee.
she was an unattractive woman, but she just never would have probably made it these days. Anyway.
She was very inspirational. She has
Yeah.
many quotes, but that's a good one. I don't know if I've
Yeah,
heard that
no, I
one
like that one.
recently or at
Ever.
all. So
I
thank you
hadn't-
so much for sharing
yeah.
that.
How about you? I know you come from a long line of powerful women.
I'm very grateful that I do have many to look up to. So whenever I think of just even women historically, I always just make that very personal. I mean, who's really made such an impact on my day-to-day. And the one that always comes to mind is my grandmother Luba, who was born in the Ukraine, was a Ukrainian refugee, had up to an 8th grade education, but raised 4 beautiful kids. My mom is one of them, who's been right here on Hometown Living. And the life lessons that she learned and then was able to pass on to her generations, her 10 grandkids, her children, those are so valuable that I'll never forget. We often look at those who have lofty educational aspirations or those who've built large companies. And my grandmother, this individual in my life who had a certain amount of education, maybe from societal standpoint was not a success, was a huge success to me and made such a success and an imprint not only on myself, but the community that she really built in her hometown in Goshen and volunteering. I just will never forget it, and the lessons that I'm now able to pass on as a mom each and every day that she taught me, whether they're serious or fun, I'll just never forget. So I think it's always great on International Women's Day to recognize those in history who have made such an impact on our community as a whole, like you had mentioned. I mean, she made such an impact on the world, and then who's made an impact on our world.
I feel like I know
I
her,
know.
even though I never met her, because of you talking about her
Yeah.
all the time. And when you think about what's going on in the world today and how that would have affected her and how she would have felt about that.
Yeah, we feel that in our family.
Yeah, I bet you do.